Hi everybody. Today is day 18 of my master cleanse. I don't know if you can hear my voice, but around 5 o'clock 2 days ago, I started feeling really crappy, like I was coming down with a cold. So I have a cold. So yesterday, it was worse than today. I feel a little bit better. It was like pretty bad. I when it comes to getting sick, like with the flu or with the cold, I very rarely get sick. I usually have a pretty strong immune system when it comes to that kind of thing. So it's unusual for me to have a cold, so I'm not used to it. But yeah, so I have a cold, and it's pretty bad. There's a lot of pressure in my head. I have like a sinus headache. My nose is really stuffed up. I have a bad cough. My chest is sore and like kind of mucusy. What else? I think that's probably it. I was really cold, just like physically cold. And my throat hurts. So I'm still doing the master cleanse though. I've got my lemonade right here, and I've got some green tea right here. Sorry, not green tea, peppermint tea actually, peppermint tea. Um, so I'm not sure if it's actually a cold or if it's yeast die-off. Yeast die-off is commonly described as feeling like you have a head cold or the flu. So I'm not 100% sure about if it's yeast die-off or if it's a cold. I am living with my boyfriend right now, and I've been sick for 3 days, and he doesn't have any type of symptoms. So probably if it was just like a common cold, he would have gotten it by now. Um, but yeah, it's kind of exciting if it is yeast die-off. My cold started the night before, so not last night, but the night before that, I think, or maybe even 3 nights ago. I woke up in the middle of the night with terrible abdomen pain, really bad, the worst that I've had, and I went to the bathroom and I eliminated many toxins and felt very dizzy, and then managed to fall back asleep, and then the next day is when my cold started. So I'm sure that they're somehow related. So it's good that I'm eliminating toxins and maybe killing some yeast, but I'm not feeling the best. So I guess just like overall, I haven't taken an antihistamine. I think today is either day 7 or day 8, which is really great. It's between day 6 and day 8. I don't know exactly. It was at least 6 days ago that I took an antihistamine. So that is like a record amount of time that I've been able to go in the past 2 years. I haven't been able to not take an antihistamine for my allergies and for my skin, especially for more than 24 hours. So I'm not sure if it is, like if it'll just come back when I start eating, like say if I start eating bread, because I've been told that I have gluten intolerances. If I start eating bread again, if it's just gonna like come back. Hopefully not. Hopefully some of the toxins will keep the dermographism away, or at least not as bad as it was. I do still have it a little bit. I get marks here and there, and I do get itchy, and my palms especially get itchy, like, and they get hot. My face sometimes gets hot, but it's totally manageable. It's nothing that I need to take an antihistamine for, and often the symptoms do go away after an hour or two. And if I take like a hot bath, usually they go right away. So whereas before it didn't matter what I did, it just was persistent and just got worse and worse. And it actually, you end up having like anxiety attacks because you can feel your throat starting to close, and you're just so itchy, and you just like, a couple of times I just sit on the couch and I'm so overwhelmed with just like I don't know what to do with myself because I'm so itchy. So I haven't had anything like that, so that's really excellent. Yeast, like I said, I'm not 100% sure, obviously, if it's gone or if it's dying or if nothing's happening. I am still taking my tinctures and my antifungal, my olive leaf extract, and the caprylic acid. I'm just taking a slightly lesser dose than I was. I'm also thinking that I'm trying to go for 40 days still. I'm like, small goals. So it's 21 days in 3 days. So that'll be a really great goal fulfilled. And then 28 days is another goal, so 4 weeks. I am sort of toying with the idea, though, of doing a Candida cleanse. I mentioned them in my last video. The website that I've been sort of looking at is called thecandidadiet.com, and they have 2 or 3 different specific cleanses that they sort of say can help kill off some Candida. So there's a few different variations. One of them, you do eat some food, and then you do like juice cleansing throughout the day. Another one that's a bit more extreme, which is that you don't eat any type of food at all except for beef broth or chicken broth, and then your juices. So so I'll just give you a very brief outline. So option 1 is a detoxing diet, and it's in brackets the easier option. So this is a strict but very healthy diet with some detox drinks and a liver flush added too. So what you're allowed to eat is only raw salads and steamed vegetables, only organic, and then 2 or 3 different detox drinks twice daily, and then there's a liver flush every evening, and that's a 7 to 14 day cleanse. And then the other cleanse, option 2, is a colon cleanse more specifically, and you don't eat any type of food. It's a detox drink, a broth, a detox drink, a broth, a detox drink, and then the liver flush. So I am toying definitely with the idea of maybe coming off of the master cleanse at day 28, and then for the last maybe 10 days or 12 days or 14 days, trying to do a Candida cleanse, and then starting with the Candida diet itself, which I'm going to try and follow as strictly as possible. I think I'm going to try and go for about a month and a half, and then I'm going to try and reincorporate some foods like dairy and maybe some complex carbohydrates. So those are all sort of things that I've been thinking about. I do want to outline as well more specifically the Candida diet itself, so I can go over what you can eat and what you can't eat. So basically there's 2 steps. After the cleanse, which is step 1, you have the very strict diet, which is step 2, and then step 3 is integrating back some of the foods that you've eliminated. But before I outline exactly what the diet is, I guess I should sort of go over some of my symptoms. Again, I think 90% of the people who are watching this video right now that aren't my friends and family who are just supporting me probably are watching it because they want to know about losing weight. The Master Cleanse has become, I've talked about this many times now, it's become in popular culture a method of losing weight very quickly, and some people are successful at keeping it off if they do convert to a raw diet or a vegan diet or a healthier lifestyle. But I would say that most people who do the Master Cleanse, if they don't change their lifestyle afterwards, probably gain most of the weight back. And that's definitely not why I'm doing the Master Cleanse. I'm doing it for my own means, which is as an alternative medicine or a way of healing my body from yeast overgrowth and allergies and infections that are causing all kinds of symptoms like very swollen glands, boils, and a number of other issues. So that's why I'm doing it. And me personally, I've lost very little weight. And I know, I've told my mom this, and my mom doesn't believe me, and I had to get my boyfriend on the phone with her being like, she really hasn't lost that much weight. I've probably lost between 10 and 13 pounds, I would say at this point, which is still significant for sure. Maybe even not even that much. Maybe close to between 8 and 12 pounds, I would say. And I will say that I think a very, very, very sound explanation for why I haven't lost more weight is because when you have yeast overgrowth, like I've talked about in my other videos, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you eat, it doesn't matter how you diet, it doesn't matter how much you exercise, your body just literally swells with toxins that are released when yeast dies in your body. So you end up not with an overly, like, you're not gaining weight from food necessarily. Not that I was eating like all good stuff all the time. I'm not saying that, but it definitely wasn't the amount that I was eating and what I was eating and the amount I was exercising did not equate to the amount of weight that I was gaining. I guarantee you, it just didn't make sense. So I think that after I am able to kill the yeast off, which might take, 3 or 4 months, maybe even up to 6 months, then my body will start to seriously maybe get back to a point. Like, I think it's like 30 pounds that I need to lose in order to get back to my ideal health. And after not eating for 18 days, I've lost probably not even like 10 pounds. So there's definitely something else going on here. And I am chalking it up to it being a yeast overgrowth issue. And 4 months from now, 5 months from now, if I still haven't been able to lose weight, or if I gain a bunch of weight, continue to gain a bunch of weight, even if I'm doing the Candida diet, then there's probably something wrong with my thyroid or my adrenal gland, and I'll have to go get a bunch of biopsies and blood tests done at my doctor's office. Hopefully that won't happen. So specifically about the diet. So the Candida diet is, it's actually very, very similar to the caveman diet, which many people have been sort of on about. The first time I heard about the caveman diet, one of my best friends, her brother was doing it, and so she told me about it, and it's basically you eat meats, you eat, I don't even think you eat any type of carbohydrate, maybe like raw barley or oats, but it's berries, like you only eat stuff that comes from the earth, basically. And a lot of meat. You eat a lot of meat, and you don't eat any type of processed, like white bread. So the Candida diet is very similar to that. So my roommate, actually, who lives upstairs, is doing a similar type of diet where she eliminated all sugar. So she eliminated all fruit, she eliminated all dairy, she eliminated all condiments, and she eliminated all bread products, so no type of carbohydrates. She also can't eat potatoes, and there's a couple other things she can't eat. And she's lost, I think, like 35 pounds in, or maybe not quite that much, 25 pounds, between 25 and 35 pounds in, 4 or 5 months of doing this diet. But she has one cheat day a week, so every Friday she eats whatever she wants. So that's basically the anti-yeast diet. So let me just find it here for you. Again, I'll repeat it. So the CandidaDiet.com is what I'm using right now, and it's an excellent resource. It has lots of information about yeast overgrowth and how to do it and how to diet and all the symptoms and everything. So check it out definitely if you feel like you have Candida overgrowth or yeast overgrowth. Also, just a little quick note. I went on Wikipedia a couple days ago and I looked up Candida overgrowth. And it you need to do it yourself if you want to, but it makes it seem like total BS. Like the way it's written, it's like certain alternative healers in brackets think that certain symptoms, like in brackets brain fog, are associated with yeast overgrowth, but this has not been proven in any type of clinical study and blah blah blah. And I don't know, like every friggin' forum and site that I've found online proves that to be totally wrong. So I don't know what's going on with Wikipedia. Okay, so the list. So they broke it up into different categories. So the first category is sugars. So foods to avoid. Okay, these are all things that you can't eat, and it's a pretty scary list. So sugars, all things to sugar. Honey, syrup, lactose, sucrose, fructose, which is the sugar in all fruit, and many vegetables as well, actually. Chocolate, molasses, rice syrup, artificial sweeteners like aspartame, aspartame, NutraSweet, agave nectar, you can't have agave nectar, coconut sugar, yacon syrup, alcohol, no type of alcohol. So wine, beer, spirits, liquor, cider, any type of alcohol, totally off limits. Just because alcohol is very high in sugar, and when it hits your body, it's been fermented usually, and it just causes your yeast to overgrow. Grains and glutinous foods. So anything made with wheat, rye, oats, or barley. So for example, white bread, rye bread, any type of pasta. You're also not allowed spelt products, and this is something that I may break, corn and corn byproducts. So often when you're gluten-free, you eat corn as a substitute. So you'd have corn pasta, which is actually really not that bad. So what it says about corn specifically, and actually a friend of my boyfriend said the same thing, is that corn is full of mold and fungi, as is canola oil. And I just read, 4-page spread in, I don't remember what magazine, about all the health benefits of canola oil. So this is like, I feel like this is maybe the butter and margarine kind of debate where people go back and forth. But anyway, corn, I may eat corn because I just don't know what I'm supposed to eat if I can't eat corn. You're also not allowed any type of fresh fruit, dried fruit, canned fruit, or fruit juice. You're not allowed potatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes, yams, beets, which I love beets, peas, parsnips, yucca, and all squash. Again, I may break that and eat carrots and sweet potatoes and potatoes. I know that that's maybe silly, but I can't not eat vegetables. Fruit I can maybe get behind, but potato is also one of those things that if you are eating gluten-free, you eat potato as your starch in replacement of the bread. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. All pork products are off limits. All cured meats, so like salami, pepperoni, anything like that that's been processed, any type of lunch meat, any type of bacon, anything like that. Smoked meats are off limits as well. And this is another thing. All fish, except for sockeye salmon and sardines, and all shellfish is off the table. So fish is on the list, nothing to do with yeast. It's on the list because of all the chemicals and toxins that come from especially farmed fish. So again, I may break that a little bit and have some halibut or some cod once in a while. It's not going to cause any type of yeast overgrowth. Dairy products, all cheese, milk, cream, buttermilk, and whey products, additives and preservatives, citric acid, and then anything on the list of ingredients that you don't know or can't pronounce, which is like in every type of food, literally. So I don't know about that. You can't have any type of coffee. Black and green tea are off limits, which I'm going to break. I love green tea. I'm going to drink it. That's there for the caffeine. Diet and regular soda, energy drinks, sports drinks, malted drinks, coconut water for all you celebs out there. Fruit juices and rice milk is also off the table. Cashews, peanuts, and pistachios are off the table only, again, because of fungal toxins. It's not really anything to do with yeast overgrowth. So again, peanut butter isn't going to kill you if you have yeast overgrowth, I don't think. Beans, chickpeas, tofu, soy cheese, soy milk, all soy products, carob, and cocoa are off the table. Soy is a really interesting one just because it is so overly manufactured and a lot of people consider it to be very healthy. So I thought that was an interesting one. All mushrooms or molds of any kind, like any type of like truffles, for example, all condiments, so ketchup, mayonnaise, regular mustard, relish, horseradish, soy sauce, salad dressing, like everything is off the limits when it comes to condiments just because there's usually so much sugar added. All types of vinegars because it's been fermented, except for apple cider vinegar, which they say is okay. And then you're not allowed peanut oil, cottonseed oil, corn oil, canola oil, soy oil, margarine, and shortening. So the foods that you are allowed to eat, I'm not going to read the whole list. Basically, it's every type of vegetable. So there's more than 25 vegetables, and half of them I've never even heard of before, but most vegetables besides like carrots and potatoes are on the table, including tomatoes, which is interesting. And then you have brown rice, which they say is okay. Again, I might cheat and have white rice once in a while. And then seeds and nuts. And that's it. So that is step 2, which is the very strict anti-yeast diet that you're supposed to follow for between 1 and 6 months. And then step 3, you start reintegrating foods like potatoes, like fruit, like cheese, and complex carbohydrates. So we'll see how that goes. But that is the anti-Candida diet. And like I said, I'm probably going to break a few of them, but the big ones I'll try and stick to, like dairy and gluten products. So that's my video for today. I hope you guys have a great day. I realize that it's a long video, but what you gonna do? See you later.